shitting me. Hey guys, I apologize about that. Can you guys message me and let me know that we are in fact live now? It helps when I'm on YouTube and I press the go live button. Yeah. So like the last piece of the stream
Wow.
that I didn't do anything with, but we're only 6 minutes past, so I think we're good. Lupe, can you write me and tell me if the stream is up for you right now? Because I was messaging people, letting them know you can call me or text live. I've got my Bluetooth in. You're not going to hear me. Oh, I was like, where's that coming from? That's from your phone.
Yeah, I was like, I found it.
So 512-905-2298. Again, that's 512-905-2298. And yeah, Lupe, I actually made a mistake. You caught something. I started streaming, to my knowledge, right at 7, but I actually forgot to press the final button on YouTube, so it wasn't like broadcasting what we were talking about. So I'm going to kind of begin again, which I don't think Carlton's going to mind if I work on it more.
Nah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to isolate right along his sacrum here. And then gently pull him back and open. And again, if you guys want to text, call me for the Thai Massage Jam, just let me know. I'm happy to answer your questions. Nobody's going to hear you, by the way. I'm hoping over time that this will change the way that I'm dealing with education and allow me to put things in a position that allows me to continue teaching people online to sort of set up satellites of the Thai Massage Jam across the country. We had about 13 chapters before COVID started, and of course, you know, everything just sort of shut down. How's the massage industry been, Carlton? COVID.
I mean, it's
Like a bomb dropped on it?
Oh man, it's been rather slow. You know, you get like spurts, like when that what was it? The extra $600 was hitting. People were still coming out spending money.
Stimulus.
Yeah, the stimulus. That's what it was. So, you know, and then after that kind of ran out, got a little slow. But you know, around payday, it always picks up. So, it's interesting.
It's going to lengthen through Carlton's hand here, through his fingers. I'm going to change camera angles to try to capture what I'm doing. Expect that they'll change around. Hopefully the audio is coming through well. I just, again, I forgot the last part where you go live. Tell YouTube that you are in fact live.
That was user error this time.
Oh, it's just, yeah. Kristen was here the other day and I got kind of irritated because you got here just a little bit late. It was just like 5 minutes or something, but it was because I was so freaked out about all the equipment and the cameras and stuff. It's like I couldn't deal with the additional anxiety of like not on time for, you know, people sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, so Carlton is a little bit more open today. We were talking about it earlier, like combination of stress and then I think the work last time. I'm putting my foot right along his shoulder blade. So I'm just below it with my foot here. And then I'm putting my foot in place. The ball pad of my foot is pressing in and I'm just rolling him back and on. So it's almost like his shoulder blade is wrapping around my foot. And then slowly I'm going to come up alongside him so I can get a good grip here. And again, if you guys have any questions at all, you can't see something, the reason I allow you to call in is so I can change camera angles, I can repeat something if you couldn't quite see it. Right in there. Now, I really like having my body right next to him, like kind of hugged in. When I do that, not only do I feel like it's more intimate, like we feel closer, I think also he knows that when I roll him back and over, he's got like a boundary and a border there. Whew, that rotator cuff. Oof. Just jostling and moving his shoulder blade. I think he has more tension probably in that rotator cuff than he does in his upper back and neck, even though that's good as well. Right in, holy moly,
Yeah, his
right
shoulder's pretty
in
hard yesterday.
there. And I always manage to find something that like I got the camera angle don't quite catch. Like I need like 6. I need 2 on this side as well. Right there. Right on top of his shoulder blade. Right there. Not too sharp.
No.
That'll tire out my fingers really fast, so I'm going to drop down to these flat knuckles. These guys right here. Still working his shoulder blade, still moving it around, still using his shoulder girdle to sort of access the rest of him. To pull his chest open, pec minor. If you guys are watching at home, just replicate what we're doing. We'll develop more of a flow as the jams continue. We'll probably do like 30 minutes give and receive. In Carlton's case, I'll probably just work on him twice, especially in the beginning. I've just got to figure out the flow of how we're going to do these and how I think it's going to work best. To be able to teach people this way. Whew, right there. Right there. There. I'm going to grab with both hands, roll back. Really leaning. And again, back to that rotator cuff, just using my flat knuckles to knead through that, some of those superficial layers. It's a hard job. You got to come receive for free
I know.
for an hour. But you had to show up like early.
Yeah, it was difficult, man. You don't know. I had to drive so far, man.
How far is it?
It was like 25 minutes.
Oh, okay. South Austin?
No, I'm in Manor.
Manor? Oh, okay. I thought you were in South Austin.
I'm like 30 minutes from everything.
But there's less traffic.
Oh, it's so
And I mean,
good.
how often do you actually go out anyway?
So, right now?
Yeah,
None.
exactly.
It's real nice.
Well, the funny thing is like my social life hasn't changed excessively because of COVID.
Exactly.
Like it's actually given me more license to be like, oh, I haven't seen anybody in 4 days. What happened to Robert? There we go. At your wrist?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right around his shoulder blade, just roll him open. If you want, you can take your feet and just kind of walk along the person's back. Tons of options. Feel free to play. I think the most important part is just ask the receiver for feedback if you're going to try something. My goal is to really teach people online, not just therapists, but the public as well. Let them understand more about massage therapy, how they can work on people, especially clothed like this. I think it's really nice. Give it just a second here. And then I want to see, how are we up here? Right there. So I've stacked his arm and his shoulder up. I want you guys to watch this so you can see just where I'm going to be pressing. I'm going to change camera angles so hopefully you can see this, but I'm coming in right at this cervicothoracic junction. This is that spot everybody always says, oh, my upper back and my neck. Always right in here. I'm not pressing down into the cervical spine, just into the neck. I am pressing into this junction where we hit levator scapula at the top of the shoulder blade that goes up to the base of the neck here. I'm stacking his arms so I can eventually press his shoulder down and create a little bit of space and stability there. But you'll hopefully get a chance. Let me see what angle I want. I think this will work best to start. I'm gonna anchor him down, in this case with my left hand. I'm gonna find some stability on my right knee, and then I'm slowly gonna lift that left right into there. How's that, Carlton?
Oh, that's great.
Is that too much pressure?
No, that's perfect pressure.
And then figuring out how to change camera angles while you work this, it's always fun. This is a new one right there. Is that too much pressure?
A little bit.
A little bit? Back better there?
There we go.
There we go. So a little bit of pressure off. Now, if I rock you,
That's nice.
there we go. So if he just said, I hate that, don't ever do that again, I go, oh, okay. Was that uncomfortable? Just to find out, some people will like the rocking, some people will just want static pressure. And I don't think that that's an issue. It just depends on like how their nervous system responds. Also, you have to make your tools fit the person that you're working on. So Carlton's knee might be a little bit bigger than mine. He might have to use a slightly different portion of it to be able to deliver pressure. That sort of thing is just ongoing. It's just something you have to work with. Bring that down. And no more pressure.
That was perfect.
Perfect, okay. Now how's that in your forearm? So I'm gonna bring myself up because I got balance right here. How's that?
Oh, wow. I don't think I can balance like that.
You could balance like this? What, everybody don't know how to do this? What are they doing? What do they do with their lives? I mean, this is, are we serious?
Tapping a keyboard, changing camera.
I'm like, what are we doing? What? Come on, I got life goals here, come on.
My yoga is not that on point.
Let's see. Yeah, that don't show anything from that angle. Right there. Pressure's not too much?
Nope, that's good.
3 points of contact. 4. How's it through your forearm?
That's great.
There we go. Oh. So I had a conversation with a student because we did a CE online, and then she had a question and she said, you know, I couldn't see this one little angle where you're using like your forearm and their neck. And it was after a couple minutes of discussing it with her, I said, hey, have you or your partner ever used a forearm in somebody's neck? And they're like, no. And I go, well, how do you feel about using a knee? Like, that is, quote unquote, advanced. But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
When the person goes, ow,
that's when you know it's probably too much.
you back off.
It's cool. You be like, did that hurt? What's going on?
So I want to show you this just in case. And here's the thing. I'm getting used to teaching this way. Like, it's going to take me a little time to figure out like what the best flow is. When I'm teaching you this way, sometimes I just jump into what I do because I do this every day, all day. So it's nothing new to me, right? If you want another tool because you don't feel comfortable with the knee, here's the thing. In order of sequence, if you look at my intro Thai workbook, you can download that on my website. I'll talk about general to specific, superficial to deep. So we started with mobilization and rocking. They're a little bit lighter. Then we moved to something that was more specific. So in my world, I'll use my knees and feet first because it's a big, broad tool, and then I'll become more specific. The forearm and the elbow, if you're just using your forearm and elbows, feels out of order. Because if I come in with something that's sharp, like this, it almost feels like it's a little bit too much too fast. I'm going to come up right into this same area. But now, since I busted up concrete with my knee, that big structure, now I'm going to use something a little bit more specific. If you didn't feel comfortable with the knee, I want you to watch this and see how you can position yourself. Because I'm going to bring myself over right into my own furniture here. And then I'm going to try to lean my forearm back, down, and in. Right, in. What do you think? Right there, Carlton?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. How's that? Torturous.
Just so torturous.
Torturous. So just to, like, for feedback for the audience, like, how does this feel compared to the knee?
It's not as broad of a pressure. It's still about the same pressure, which is
About the same.
Which is kind of funny because, you know, knee versus the forearm.
Yeah.
But it's just a little bit more direct, so it's not covering as much of the surface area.
Yeah. So from here, do you want me to roll forward or do you want me to roll back?
Definitely forward.
Definitely forward. Tell me when. When. Right there. Now, if I go just a little bit lateral, meaning out towards like the outside of your body, or a little bit in, which way?
More laterally.
More lateral? Tell me when. When?
When.
Now, rocking or just static?
Rocking's always good for me.
Okay, rocking. There we go. So I think I use rocking in exchange of Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of rocking, like softening tissue by rocking an area, softening before I do like a deeper compression. A little bit more right there.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. So any referred pain? In other words, I'm pressing in one spot, it feels intense. Like it's localized.
Mm-hmm.
But some people will get referred pain. They're like, oh, I can feel that up into my ear, or stuff like that. There we go. Now, if I get tired with that left arm, I'm going to show this from a different angle. I'm going to come in real quick. So I'm holding my arm out like this. My deltoids were getting just a little bit tired, but I'm going to switch it out, go to the other arm so that I don't wear myself out, and put myself in a slightly different position. My arm is going to taper in a different direction. I'm going to come around, give him some pressure there. How's that? There we go. What do you think? Right there? Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you can quite catch this, but I got my right arm down. I'm going to use a loop, this little C loop right here. I'm going to wrap it around my wrist just to give me a little bit of, I don't know, it's like I'm forming this kind of right angle from my humerus to my forearm. And then I'm reinforcing above the wrist to be able to give him that little bit of rock right there. You might be able to see it from this camera angle as well. Not quite as good. Maybe from there. Now, to the front or to the back? To the back. Tell me when. Okay. Now, down towards the spine or out away from your body? Right there? Now, rock. Eddie Van Halen died.
What?
Eddie Van Halen, of cancer of all things. 65.
Damn.
And I'm not like a huge Van Halen fan, but I certainly don't wish for the rock gods to be collecting everybody immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 2020, we was losing all Oh, that's beautiful.
And just like before, I'm getting a little bit tired just on this right side. We've done 3 different positions just to address that cervicothoracic junction. This thing right down in here. I'm going to change this in just a second so I can grab like a different portion. And what I want to do is, instead of going down and over like this to get into the cervicothoracic junction, I actually want to get into his neck right in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring his head just a little bit forward so I can create a little bit of length on his neck. You can also tell that his eye gaze is a little bit down, like towards the pillow. When he looks down towards the pillow, it opens up the back of his neck here. Now, if we were doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I go in for the carotid because I'm trying to choke him out, right? You're not doing that in massage. You're not trying to, accomplish anything like that. So what I'm going to do is come around and I'm going to try to position myself. This is kind of similar to what we did at the cervicothoracic junction, from the sense that I could do this from different positions, but I'm going to choose the one that feels the easiest to me at the moment. So I'm going to come in and sit, and I'm going to see if I can reach up and over. We'll see if this camera angle will get this a little bit better. And I'm pressing in the back of Carlton's neck. I'm going to start a little bit towards the base. It'll be right on his shirt right here. How's this right there? Just feels like grizzle. Tight right in there. So I'm gonna come down, over, and across. Like, his carotid is up in the front of his neck. I'm in the posterior, okay? So I'm gonna come in behind, back here. I'm gonna stack myself so I feel comfortable, right? How's that? Okay, now from there, if I go a little bit forward or a little bit back.
A little bit forward.
A little bit forward, tell me when. Right there. That's what he likes. Still in the posterior. You can see the little bit of angle on my arm right there where I'm pressing down and over. Usually I can hit about 3 spots on the neck. On most people, I can hit the lower portion, a middle portion, and an upper portion right up at the suboccipitals. If you guys want to text or call me, again, that number is 512-905-2298. I'm going to move up right to the middle here. You tell me. I'm going to scoot in just a little bit closer for that one. It's going to make me more comfortable. How's that right there, Carlton? Okay. So from there, if I slide just a little bit up or a little bit down. He wants up. How's that right there? Yay. Yay. He started speaking in tongues. He went Glaciolia on me. Right there. And you're always trying, there are 2 things that happen in my curriculum. I talk to students about this pretty frequently. The 2 things you're going to do is you're going to make it maximally effective for the receiver. Then you're going to completely ease all of your own body strain. You don't want to strain, you don't want to stress at all. You want to feel totally comfortable leaning in and doing this. So from there, if I go a little bit to the back or a little bit to the front. Tell me when. Right there. And still just a little bit up. There we go. So it's almost like I'm grabbing a section of skin and shearing up. Like stretching, like traction. I find it interesting when massage therapists talk about myofascial release or various techniques, and I see all of it blended into my work, but I don't spend a lot of time talking about myofascial release. I don't spend a lot of time talking about medical massage and using that sort of, I guess, medical jargon to try to impress people. Though primarily what I do is help people in pain. That and apparently work on dudes who get blown out of Humvees. What about to the back? Is different?
Yeah, it's definitely different.
More to the front?
So the front, there's a bit more pressure.
Okay. But to the back?
So the back feels nice and then,
And then up?
wow, that's good.
Whatever we hit, it was gold.
I might have drilled a little bit there.
Well, I'll try to set up cameras when Kristen is working on me. And Kristen's work's gotten really good, and she'll wipe me out. And like if I'm using the other camera, it'll time out. And like I don't know how long. I have no clue where I'm at. Like, so I'm gonna back off. I used this left arm on both of those. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this top portion right at the base. I was getting pretty close to this, but I want to come in with a slightly different angle. I'm going to use my other arm, so I'm going to turn my body facing the opposite direction. Again, if you can't see something, you need a better camera angle, just let me know. We don't have a camera guy at the moment, but I'm sure we'll get there soon. So right here at the base of the skull, right in here, where I'm trying to put some pressure. Carlton, how about this? Can you scoot down for me a little bit?
Yeah.
Just a little bit, like, let's see. Move it down to like here. I think that'll be a little bit easier for them to see. Because this one's a little more close up. There we go. So lift your head for me. I want to bring that, there we go. So right in here, right at the base of Carlton's skull, right where those neck muscles insert is right where I'm trying to get in. And I just wanted to change my position to make it a little bit easier on me. I was using my left arm previously. Now I'm going to switch out to the right. And we're going to come in. I'm going to stack my body weight. I'm going to have this passive hand under my thigh. And I'm going to grab. I can go as close to the elbow as I want. If I'm here, it feels a little softer. If I get closer to my elbow, it feels a little more intense, which I think is kind of what he's going for. So I'm going to come in just a little bit closer. How's that, Carlton? Intense. Too much?
No, that's good for me.
Okay. So from there, down or up? Okay, so tell me when. Okay, now a little bit forward or a little bit to the back? To the back, okay. Right, what do you think? Right there? And still just a little bit up? There we go. So it looks super simple. I think some of it is so subtle, like it's hard to catch on camera. But I do think people respond inordinately well to this sort of cervical compression to the muscles around their neck. And this is also great because it just saves my hands. I don't have to wear out my hands working on people, doing fairly specific neck work. And again, a little more to the front or a little more to the back, Carlton. Right there. And still just a little up. There we go. So completely imperceptible on camera. There's no way that you would you'd be able to see that. But I'm literally just like grabbing, and it's like I would kind of lean forward, lean back, and I'll do the same thing across people's bodies, by the way. Go up, go down, like, from people's feet to anywhere else. I do this all the time just to communicate with them about where I'm engaging some sort of skin stretch to be able to access those nerves running through there. Are you dead yet?
No.
There we go. So I did one side on Carlton. If you guys are working, we kind of worked on one side. You can choose what you want to do tonight. If you want to keep working on the same person or kind of trade out and have them do some of the same thing. If you just want to flip the person over and do like a short version of what we just did again, feel free. The Thai massage jam is a little bit more informal. Like I had a moment where I was like, maybe I should just lay down and have Carlton work on me. And I'm like, man, you could throw that man under the bus. and flip to the other side. Well, that's what I thought about. And then I'm like, because I think I'll have to kind of build the jam online. Right. Like we haven't had it that way before. So it's like I was trying to figure out logistics of like what the flow would be like. Here we go. So we're going to prop you here. See if you guys can see this. I'm going to prop you. There you go. And then lift your head. And then people will always ask about like sheets and mats, and basically the Thai massage jam, it's so informal. I just drag the person around the mat. Like I don't, it's not real formal. It just doesn't have that feel to it to me. Usually I'd be playing Jimi Hendrix or the Beatles or something, and people will just be, it's one person juggling in a corner. There's somebody else doing some stuff.
Somebody getting the ball hit.
So we've had the Thai massage jam in Austin for, I think, 8 years. And COVID is the only thing that has significantly like slowed down our jam. We used to have it weekly, and then I dropped back to like twice a month, just because I was getting scanned on time. Like it was just getting, I don't know, it was a lot. The jams were like 5 hours a piece. So I was showing up and working on people and teaching other people to work on people. Lots and lots of fun. It was also a way that potential clients could get really inexpensive work if they couldn't afford my sessions. So it was sort of like a community giveaway. Back and open. Back and open. Now I'm going to get into his rotator cuff. Let me get this from this angle. I know they see this. So I got these flat knuckles right here, and I'm just digging into his rotator cuff. We worked on this a little bit last time. He had some. No, that feels much better.
Oh yeah, so much better.
Yeah, the superficial layers are a little more open. See, I got email. Let me see. Somebody email me. It's like slowest communication ever. No, it's the.
There's a little snail mail. Mailman just knocked on the door.
Right there. Yeah, I've noticed the Facebook group for my subscribers has got some disadvantages. The students just aren't using it obsessively, so that Facebook keeps showing it to them. Like you have to interact with it all the time for Facebook to show it to you. And then I started thinking, man, we need a Discord server. And I'm like, oh, you got to teach these people what a Discord server is?
Discord is complicated. I don't know what it is.
Well, the benefit, though, is like you can contact people and everybody will get it.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's not filtered the way that Facebook is.
Oh,
so
yeah. Facebook, the little algorithm, if you're not going to that group daily, you're not going to see stuff.
Yeah. Right in there. Ooh. 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 So again, feel free to trade out. You can work on the same person, just a little bit repeat on the opposite side. You can always just trade out completely and just repeat what we were doing. In his case, he'll receive once on either side, so you get an idea of what we're doing. Again, I think of this as a little bit more informal. I'm more willing to play, I think, on camera with the jam, just because it's not as like, I don't know, it's not as strict. The students want, what muscle is this, and what's the origin and insertion, and I'm like, is that necessary?
No, you rarely have clients that ask, but you have those few that actually ask.
Like, what muscle is that? I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, you would just, I'm like, there's too many muscles, bro. There's layers. Like, here's the teres, major, minor, and here's the infraspinatus, and then up here's the supraspinatus, and trapezius, and the levator scap, and sometimes, so like when I lean in through here, I'm kind of leaning through 3 different layers.
Exactly.
And that's where, it's like, how often do I ask my mechanic, like, how the spark plugs work? Well, I mean, what's the interior of the spark plug? How's that,
Right.
And he's like, it's a spark plug, bruh. It works. Get out of here.
He's like, oh, you can just go wait in there.
I mean, I am inquisitive, mind you. Like, I like knowing stuff, but I just do think it's interesting to think about. It's a little bit tighter on this side.
Oh yeah, this is the surgically repaired one.
The surgically repaired one is the labrum?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Had a labrum repair, bicep resection, and a clavicle reduction.
Because you got blown out of a Humvee?
Nah, that was incline shoulder press. Nothing that cool on this one.
So you tell him at the bar?
Nah, I was just
Oh, I got blown out of a Humvee.
tell people don't get overzealous, man. Trying to do 100-pound dumbbells was not the thing.
Yeah, slow conditioning. I follow The Rock on Instagram, and like, man, he is not skipping leg day. I'm like, dude, what the poof? Like, what are you even made of, bro? Like, if you asked me to go lift weights, I'd be like, are you sure? Like, I don't know if I'm.
Some of those people. I mean, some of those celebrities are all on HGH though.
Which is human growth hormone?
hormone.
Ah, okay.
I mean, if I had the money to do something like that, that would be awesome.
Is that what like Brad Pitt took in like Fight Club or something?
No, that's like how Sylvester Stallone got so big for the last Rambo and Rocky, where he's just gargantuan. So like, there's no reason you should be 65 and that big. Like, no sir.
So let's see here. I'm gonna change angles, see if we can catch this. So I'm gonna come out to the side here, and if my Matt, if you guys catch this, if I ever get to a position like I could have scooted him over, but I'm not gonna worry about it. He's in an arrested position. I'm gonna grab my blanket here and make my mat just a little bit bigger, because that way I can put my foot down so that I can lean in and then open him up to this side. Oh yeah, this is way tighter on this side. It's like using the mobility to try to feel where he's got tension. Be able to roll this open. I'm just isolating right along his sacrum. You can see here if I let his shoulder move, it's kind of like I'm toggling between low back and upper body to just open the length of his spine. He just felt a little bit tighter, especially up through here, like in the pec, in the chest. So I'm just trying to roll that open. Try to invite some movement through his spine because it felt a little bit tighter on this side. I'm gonna get a good grip right here. I'm gonna roll him back and open. And just roll him back and open. Then I'm gonna use this foot right along his spine. So this is all ball pad of the foot. Just pressing right down. Long. Carlton, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from East Texas.
East Texas. Okay. I don't get much of an accent when I talk to you. Like
I tried for years to turn that off. I'm here on my mom and my cousins too long. This country is all get out. Like, it's so terrible.
I watched, was it The Princess and the Frog? We're setting in New Orleans. And like Raymond, the Cajun, like Firefly. Whenever I hear that, it's like a total blast from the past, like hearing that growing up. So right below the shoulder blade, okay, I can feel the edge of his shoulder blade right there. I'm gonna prop my foot, and then I'm just slowly gonna pull him back and onto my foot here. Oh, yeah, got some movement. Oh, oh. I'm also under the firm belief that anyone can do this.
Yep.
I don't even, like, I think that was annoying to therapists, like, that I didn't treat them like a special class. I'm like, you don't need to work on a mat. This is all new. Right there. I'm going to hook my foot just a little bit closer in his case. He wants a little more oomph. Almost like I'm pulling him onto me. You can see him move back and open there. Is that too rough?
No, that's great.
That feels great.
Oh. Everybody needs to try this.
People have told me it's like, this is like therapeutic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's like putting people in joint locks. I'm gonna move my position. I scooted just a little bit up. So I was a little bit further down. I've scooted up this way. It's gonna change the angle just a little bit. And again, I got my foot right below his shoulder blade. Then I'm gonna pull him back and open. Right there. How's that? There we go.
That's the one.
That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. Oh. 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 Whoop. Hey. So in his case, I can feel the shoulder blade lifting up. I'm going to hook my toes right on this left foot, just above where my right ones are. And I want to see if I pull him back, if I can pull him back onto my foot, and I can. Both sides. How's that, Carlton?
So
He's like, oh my gosh, oh my God. It's like clients will pay you to wrestle them.
Exactly. It's not too often that people just throw me around, man. I'm 265.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Man, you're dense. Wow. I wouldn't have guessed. But it's also your upper body. Like I'm not lifting the rest of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My legs are just ridiculously heavy.
Yeah. So in his case, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna put his arm like this, and I'm gonna see if I can grab this on camera. I'm gonna bend my knees and bring him in. I had his arm back, but now I'm just gonna grab around his shoulder, see if I can pull him onto me like this. Right in there. How's that? There you go. There you go. They're like, Robert, who taught you? A drunk driver. My original teacher showed me some basic stuff, and I went, huh. Well, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And then you went completely off-road eventually. Whew, right there. Let's see.
I don't think I have the flexibility to do this one.
Right there.
Practitioner.
Oh. Right there. Oh. Oh. I'm inviting him open. Oh. Therapeutic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Oh. Right. Oh. Oh. And then in his case, I'm going to scoot out one last time, back to where I was, and pull him back and open again. There we go. Then I'm going to set him down. I'm going to come into the side for the more gentle version of just lengthening through here. Felt like we beat him up for a minute. Right there. but he just felt tighter on that side. I wanted to be able to address what he was dealing with. I'm going to hook back into his rotator cuff here. Feels a little tight right in there. And I'm gonna stack his arm just like I did before. I think this camera angle is gonna catch this, but we'll see. I'm gonna hop up real quick. And then bringing his shoulder down. I wanna be able to bring my knee right into that cervicothoracic junction. This guy right in here. How's that, Carlton?
Oh, yeah.
Good so far?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Doing good.
Then I'm gonna bring the knee up, right in there. How's that?
A little less pressure on that one.
Now how's that?
There we go.
So there's this toggle between the hand and the arm. If I let off of the arm, I think it'd be too much. But when I pull his shoulder down in a way, it's also like allowing me some stability to push my knee out and give me a little bit more leverage and control there. So more to the front or more to the back?
To the front.
More to the front. Tell me when.
When?
Okay. Now rocking.
Yes.
There we go. I'm trying to get the camera angle that doesn't maximize my keister from here since we turned you around. Right in there. Oh man, I miss the jams. Josh Terry came over recently and got a session with me, and we were talking about that because we got so used to going to the jams regularly and receiving work and giving work that like it was just part of our regular maintenance. Like we did it all the time. So to not have it for 9 months or something is just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Right in there. And again, more to the back, more to the front.
To the front right there.
To the front. He had to get rid of the East Texas drawl. It's up in the pine trees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just too much. People are like, where are you from? So I started slowing down my speech. And
God's country.
hey, football and church.
Oh, boy.
That's about it.
So I put pressure in my hand to just gently bring my my knee out. I'm going to come in again with the forearm. So I'm going to bring his head just a little bit forward like that, just to create a little bit of space. And I'm going to come down and over. I think this might capture a little bit better. And right in there, Carlton. You tell me. Right there.
Yep.
More to the back, more to the front.
To the front of that one.
There we go. Now, more lateral or more medial?
Lateral, definitely.
More lateral right there.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Right there. Do, 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 do. Can't see nothing but my back. You can see my arm. Then I can see your feet. Always playing with camera angles. There we go. It's like I thought 3 cameras would be plenty. And now I got 4. I'm like, I need 6. Only 6 cameras. Right. Oh, right there. How's the pressure?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
There we go. Now if I give you just a little bit of rock.
Always good with rocking.
There we go. Yeah, wherever I go, I think growing up in South Louisiana, I always want to know what kind of food you got, what kind of music you got.
Mm-hmm.
It's how I relate to people. Anybody they're Indian. Oh, really? We're in India. Madras. Oh, really? Oh, the curries, they're always spicy, more turmeric, less. Talking about the difference between like northern and southern Indian cuisine. Like, they're like, no, Madras is famous for, these specific curries and basmati rice.
I just like food.
Oh yes.
We're from in South Louisiana.
I grew up in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got family in New Iberia.
No, Iberia. What?
Mm-hmm.
They need what they need, Thibodeau. Melanson.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Yep. Those country folk down there.
Oh man, so much fun. When I was at college, we had some guys who lived in Golden Meadow. Golden Meadow was down on the coast. They were, whew, man, they were mad country.
Riverboat living. Those swamp people.
Oh yeah, they would tell, stories about going out on shrimping boats or like, bales of certain illicit substances washing up on the beach. That sort of,
Oh Lord.
to the front,
Yep.
right there. Then a little bit out, a little bit lateral.
Oh, yep.
There we go.
That's the one.
There we go. Do, 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 do. Yeah, after Katrina, I was in Baton Rouge for a year after Katrina, and I was just like, gotta go. My then girlfriend, now ex-wife, was here in Austin, and I was like, the economy's better in Austin. I was like, dude, you gotta get out, man. Like the economy's better in Austin. There's tech community. Like you gotta, Baton Rouge just wasn't going where I needed to go. And Austinites have been happy enough and polite enough to take me in. At this stage, I'm now considered a local. Nobody gives me side eye because I'm from Louisiana. And then slowly gonna back off. And just like we talked about before, through the neck, I'm gonna come around and see if I can apply some pressure right into his cervical paraspinals. And hopefully you guys can see this at this camera angle. He's pretty much at neutral. One, his head from the side, he's not like craned over, like down towards the mat. He's not like lifted up because the pillow's so big. But I want to bring him just a little bit forward. And then he naturally just kind of turned his eye gaze just a little bit down. And what that means is I'm getting more into this posterior part of the cervical spine, more like trapezius, splenius capitis, splenius cervicis. If you say that at parties, it impresses people and other massage therapists. It just means some muscles back here. So I'm gonna go to the base, kind of right here. So before, it was like we were coming down and over into the cervico-thoracic junction. Now we're actually coming across right into the posterior cervical spine. And I'm gonna change my position. I'll be able to look at the camera this way and talk to you guys. You tell me. Right in, is it right in there? How are we doing? Ooh, ooh, right there. Oh yeah. We think a little bit up or a little bit down? Down. Okay, now to the back or to the front? To the back right there. There we go. Yeah, trying to explain to people the difference between Cajun cooking, Creole cooking, and like Southern cooking. And Southern is like a big generalization. Like Southern cooking in Georgia on the coast ain't the same, It's like there's some generalities, you're dealing with, but yeah, dealing with like Cajun and Creole is the big one, and people are like, "Well, it's the same thing, right?" I'm like, no, it's not the same thing. It's like my friend was from El Salvador, and I was like, "So it's like Mexico, right?" And she's like, "No, it's its own country called El Salvador." I'm like, it's just Mexico.
It's a little bit sweeter than Mexico. That's all it is.
And it was just totally messing with her, just because we all understand like regional distinctions. Like in Texas, it took me a long time to get used to like taco culture, and I'm still kind of working on it. But I understand it more having traveled between like Austin, Houston, Dallas, Brownsville. What's the name of the other city? Not Brownsville, McAllen. Being down on the border, like there are differences and like regional variants. So, the big argument like with barbecue, holy moly. It's like, ooh, no, this is the traditional Texas barbecue. And I'm like, one, traditional Texas barbecue ain't that old. Two, traditional Texas barbecue is a mix of like African American, German, Czech, Mexican, like, all like got together and then like, no, this is the traditional Texas barbecue. People will argue about that, man. Whew. So right there, a little bit down. Barely see it from there. No, you can't see nothing from that angle. Right there. And I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go right into, we were at this lower portion. I'm gonna go towards the middle, right in here. Hopefully you guys are at home watching this, repeating what we're doing. I'm hooking right, what do you think, right there? There you go. Now, towards the front or to the back? So again, back to the back. Tell me when. Okay. Now from there, is it up or down? There we go. Now, if I pull my body back this way, it's going to change the angle pressing forward. If I lean forward more, it allows me to change the angle leaning the opposite direction. A lot of it is just the way that you stack joints to be able to deliver pressure. It gets easier with practice the more that you do this. And then a little bit more down, right there. There we go. So for him, he wants more pressure here. I was just starting a little bit of strain. He'll feel that shake. It won't feel as comfortable to him. So I'm going to switch out to my other arm just so I can do that again. And I'm going to be able to put myself behind what I'm doing so that I can lean in with a little bit more oomph. I'm going to change. This always happens. I need a little clicker. So I'm going to come in from the side here. Now you tell me, right there. And then down. That's the one. A little bit more to the front or a little more to the back? To the back. Right there. There we go. So when he says right there, like what does that feel like to you?
Right now it feels like a good bit of pressure, and then I'm just gonna feel my shoulder just gonna start to drop.
Yeah. It always feels to me like you got to itch, and you're like, hey, scratch my back. And you ever have a therapist where it's like you got to itch, and it's like they go all around it?
All around it, not.
And you're like, oh my God, I want to punch you in the face.
Just right there. I told you where it was.
So I think what it is the verbal communication. For a lot of therapists, it can seem like a lot. They're like, Robert talks a lot. But what happens is you're able to put yourself in a position to be able to get to the perfect spot for the client immediately. Whereas there's no question because they're telling you, yeah, right there. That's exactly where I feel it. That's exactly where I want pressure. So more to the back. Right there. And then a little bit down. Oh, no, you thought you said nope, and it was yep. Then for that last spot, right to the base of the skull, I'm going to turn around again just so I can lean. Probably, I'm assuming he's going to want pressure up towards the base of the skull. I'm going to come in and stack my body right in there. Is that it? Oh, yeah. So right in there. How's that? So from here, if I go just a little bit to the front or a little bit to the back, to the front, tell me when. There we go. Still up. There we go. Trying to get to just that, like, feels like perfect position to be able to apply pressure. You want it to feel comfortable, secure. The more you practice, the more you're able to put yourself in position so that, for like you, Carlton, I'm right there. Does it feel like ideal, like the perfect spot? Now, I'm completely just chilled, just totally relaxed. And that is the difference with what I see with the work that I'm teaching compared to a lot of therapists. They sometimes get a little confused in class, even with table tie, because they're not sweating. Like they feel like they got to work at it. And I'm like, no, if you stack your body right, like it's not even, it feels almost effortless. It takes time, but doesn't feel like we're there forever. Up to the front, or to the back. Oh, a little back to this time. Tell me when. And then up. There we go. Though I will say, if you were a Southerner and you put flour in your cornbread, you're losing your Southerner license. I have some limits. I mean, I will eat your horrible cornbread and I will criticize it internally.
The one that really messed me up, they somebody's cornbread that actually had like corn in it, like green corn in cornbread. I was like, what is this? It threw me off. I was not expecting that. See, for somebody with a wife, I was like, ooh, I'm married before I got cornbread. That was a bad choice right there. She's not watching this, so it's not going on.
Yeah, exactly. They had to dig through the video to find it. So, Thai massage jam. I don't know when I'm going to do this again. I'm going to poll you guys. Any feedback, information you can give me. If you want to text me, call me, whatever is great. Go ahead and begin the process of finishing up with the person that you're working with. I just wanted to do this for an hour tonight to make sure we could live stream in a way that was going to work. I want to be able to work with you guys consistently. I just have to find a flow. I'm sure Carlton will be happy to come and receive again. We can work on like a different area if he wants. I want to be able to use these as sort of curriculum to be able to help people learn at home. So when I get feedback from you, it helps me figure out how to package the material in such a way that I can communicate with you and share information that's going to be of benefit. I can even form like a little Thai massage jam course that the public can take so they get a basic idea of how to work on people. I'm going to slowly take that pressure off. And then lay back on your back for me, Carlton. There we go. You have a lot of siblings? No siblings?
Not.
Oh, only child?
Well, I have two stepsisters.
Stepsisters, okay.
They're babies though.
Babies, tiny. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're not babies anymore. One's a sophomore in high school, and the other one's like an 8th grader.
Yeah.
Still babies.
So I'm just rocking him because we did a lot of work on his upper back. And I'm just pressing, lifting up, his lower body sinking in just above the greater trochanter to be able to apply some pressure there. I don't know if you can see that from this angle, or maybe you could see it from
This was my favorite
this
technique
angle.
when I figured this out, man.
Yeah.
It's like therapeutic for you.
Makes my calves a little tight, but my hands don't hurt.
Exactly.
There you go. Kind of lift it up here. Maybe if I lean back, you see that a little bit better. Right in there. Now, because of size, let's say you are working on somebody who's larger than you are. If you wanted to lift them up, like use your other foot and slide in, be able to move your foot around, like if I push him up and over, there we go. I can grab another spot. How's that?
Good.
Good spot.
It takes conditioning to be able to do this. Remember the first time I did it, I was like, oh, my calves are cramping. What is this?
The difference is the leg muscles are really big. So once you condition to it, it's like it doesn't make sense to use your hands and arms the exact same way. Yeah. There we go. So a lot of this stuff we will repeat. You're going to see this again. It's not the last time. Most jams, I would do a lot of the same stuff just repetitively. It means that you're able to kind of get it in your cells. You're able to repeat. You have to give and receive. That's one of the big deals about these interactive live streams, is I think it's a really big deal for people to be able to work with this interactively. I'm going to continue this. Again, any feedback is beneficial to me because it lets me know like what to tweak to make things just a little bit better. But I will see you guys again soon. And thank you so much for tuning in to the Thai Massage Jam. Did you want them to follow you on social media or anything?
I'm not a big social
No,
media
not a bit. Oh, that's your fine. I just wanted to offer it to you in case.
I appreciate it.
Right.
I'll negative social media.
Right there.
Feels
There you go. So, how's that feel?
good.
Much better, huh? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So cool. Listen, I'll see you guys again soon. If you need anything, let me know. And this video will still be up on YouTube, so you can use it again. And I thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all have a great, great night.